హ్యాపీ బర్త్డే లాల్.
హ్యాపీ బర్త్డే లాలు. హ్యాపీ బర్త్డే.
Happy birthday to
Oh,
you.
please mute your mics, all of you.
హ్యాపీ బర్త్డే
Number 324.
ఓకే సార్.
324.
బాబు మీరు విషెస్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటే తర్వాత చెప్తురమ్మా చిన్న. కాదు మీరు విషెస్లు లేకపోతే ఇంకోటి దీంట్లోకి వచ్చిన కాస్త వెయిట్ చేయండి.
అమ్మా 324 ఇక్కడికి వచ్చాక తెలిసిందా నీకు?
ఏ సార్ సార్
చెప్పండి సార్.
అదే నేను కాస్త ఒక 20 minutes తర్వాత డైరెక్ట్ గా అటెండెన్స్ తీసేసుకోమంటారా?
తీసేసుకోండి.
సార్ నాకు ఇచ్చారా కో హోస్ట్ కింద ఇది?
ఇచ్చాగా.
ఓకే అయితే వస్తుంది అడ్మిట్. నేను
సో అడ్మిట్ కొట్టేస్తా ఉండే అయితే.
సరే
ఓకే.
నేను ఆటోమేటిక్ గా తీసేసుకుంటాను, ఏం చెప్పవసరం లేక నేను.
ఓకే 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 ఓకే.
కార్తీక్ బాబు ఎవరమ్మా చిన్న? హలో, హూ ఇస్ కార్తీక్ బాబు?
Who is Sravanth? Please enter with your register number.
రోజు వాడు అదే చేస్తున్నట్టున్నాడు, కాస్త చెప్పు ఒకసారి.
Sravanth ఎవరమ్మా? Please enter with your register number or otherwise put absent. గోపాలకృష్ణ ఆప్షన్ పెట్టే శ్రవంత్ కి ఎంటర్ రిజిస్టర్ అవ్వండి, బట్ అవ్వకపోతే కనుక.
అంతే అమ్మా. ఇందాక కూడా కార్తీక్ బాబు ఆబ్సెంట్ అయ్యాడు, ఆబ్సెంట్ పెట్టేసి ఎవరో తెలియదు మనకి. రిజిస్టర్ నెంబర్ తో చేయమని చెప్పాను, అయినా చేయలేదు.
హెచ్బిడి లాల్ అని ఉంది. ప్లీజ్ ఎంటర్ విత్ యువర్ రిజిస్టర్ నంబర్స్. దోస్ హు ఆర్ హావింగ్ నేమ్స్ ప్లీజ్ ఎంటర్ విత్ యువర్ రిజిస్టర్ నంబర్. Those who are having names, please enter with your register numbers. 18 series 24.
మా శ్రవంత్ ఎవరమ్మా? చేంజ్ చేయండి, మీది రిజిస్టర్ నెంబర్ తో చేంజ్ చేయండి. మీరు అడ్మిట్ చేస్తేనే అవుతారు వాళ్ళు.
Right, anyway.
Okay sir.
హ్యాపీ బర్త్డే లాల్.
So this is the not short form for you to share your experiences, expressions.
సార్ వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు సార్.
Sir, number 65, number 90. So voice వినిపిస్తుందమ్మా?
Class.
సార్
Am I audible to you?
Yes, very clear, sir.
లేదు లేదు సార్.
సార్ పీడిఎఫ్ ఒకటే వస్తుంది సార్, ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసేది రావట్లేదు సార్.
సిగ్నల్ మాకు బాగానే వస్తుంది, చూడు ఒకసారి.
Please unmute. Please mute your mics, amma. Please mute your mics. Mute yourselves.
ఓకే సార్, ఓకే. హ్యాపీ బర్త్డే లాల్.
ఓకే సార్.
Happy birthday.
Right.
సార్ ఓకే సార్. సార్ జూమ్.
Sir, okay, sir.
జూమ్ చేయండి.
Right. Okay. Wait a minute. So wait a minute. Okay. Okay, right. Good morning to one and all. So please, you please mute your mic. All right, fine. Thank you. Right. So in this class, Amma, for today's class, we try to discuss some of the important topics regarding of your rolling contract bearing, especially. In the last class, we already discussed some of the important points regarding what is the difference between rolling contract bearing and sliding contract bearing, and we already explained some of the important classification regarding of your rolling contract bearings. Again, in rolling contract bearings also we are having there are two types, what we called ball bearings and according to a type of loading condition, ball bearings and roller bearings. And again, we are having some classifications in case of your roller bearings and what we called ball bearings and roller bearings, and you are having again classifications. Right. Now in this class, Amma, in this class, we try to discuss or we try to design of your bearing based on different considerations. We also try to discuss what are the design procedure of your rolling contact bearing. What is the important design procedure steps like your sliding contact bearing. So before that, we have to move. We have to discuss the important one of what is the life of a bearing. Right. So this is very, very important definition. Why? Because means any bearing, because what is the purpose of bearing? Because it has to support the moving element or rotating element or whatever it is, right? The mainly purpose of bearing, why we are designing of a bearing is simple that of in order to support the your rotating element or moving element, whatever it is. Now the life of bearing, so you have to estimate on what cycles it is supposed to be sustained, right? So these things are to be dependent upon the type of your application and type of your loading conditions normally, because the life has to be estimated based on your type of loading condition, right? Whenever your load is more, automatically your life will be decreased, obviously. So that we have to know the some load life relationship also while you are designing of a bearing. That is a very, very important aspect. It is a very, very important aspect. Now, so how do you decide a life of bearing? That is very, very important point here right now, because most number of numerical problems are based on this life of bearing. Most number of numerical problems are based on this life of bearing, right? So before we estimate the life of a bearing, so how do you judge or how do you estimate or how do you select a life of a bearing will be sustained on the particular number of days or number of years or whatever it is? So that is the question, right? Suppose I already told you that there are two important functions of your bearing. Normally, in the beginning of the class, we already discussed it. One is to support the load of the shaft, and second one is in order to minimizing the friction. These are the two main objective of your bearing. So by keeping this point on your mind, you have to be select, or you have to be calculate the life of a bearing. Like, let us consider, suppose for an example, because here the screen I am showing only the definition, right? But it needs an explanation. It is very, very important point. Let us consider an example of your shaft. Suppose the shaft is to be rotating, right? The shaft is to be rotating, and the life cycle of a shaft, let us say 10 power 8 cycles, right? Please observe this example. This is very, very important point, right? So I am considering an example of a shaft. The life cycle of a shaft is 10 power 8 cycles, let us say, right? Already these things we came across. How do you estimate the life cycle of any machine component can be already you came across in your DMM1. So that is the reason why I'm taking times of life cycles 10 power 8 cycles for a shaft. Now, if you are using the bearing, what could be the life of a, what could be the life of a bearing, right? That is a question. That is, as a design engineer, you have to decide. As a design engineer, you have to decide what could be the life of a bearing if your shaft life cycle is 10 power 8 cycle. You please think once on this particular issue. Suppose I am the manufacturer and I am giving you that my shaft is to be rotating about 10 power 8 cycles. Then what could be, what is your thinking, or what is your opinion, or what could be the life cycle of your bearing if it is to support the shaft, right? That is the basic thing. So if you know the answer, you please think on once, and if you know the answer, you please post your answer on your chat box. Just take 1 or 2 minutes, then I will explain, because we are having 3 important definitions here: life of bearing, rated life, and average life. These are the very, very important. So today's class, you have to complete this. So my question is, am I clear? My question is, you are having a shaft, the shaft is to be rotated. The shaft life cycle is about 10 power 8 cycles. And my question is, simple thing, you have to design a bearing according to that particular life cycle of your shaft. So how many number of cycle it is to be sustained? So somebody is saying more than 10 power 8 cycles. So there are more than 100 number of people are here. But your answer is limited to only 1 or 2 people. So somebody is saying less than shaft life cycle, and somebody is saying more. Anything else? Less. Somebody is saying less. And less, 73 is less. Okay. So 10 power 8 cycles, very good. 47, 10 power 8. Next. All right. Okay, anyway. So I'm revealing the answer. So your life cycle, right? Your life cycle of your bearing should be, it is the supporting element for your rotating object or moving element. That means your object, that means your shaft, if a shaft is to be designed, it is life cycle of 10 power 8, then the life cycle of a bearing should be equal to the 10 power 8 cycles. It should not be less than 10 power 8. That is very, very important. If at all it is, suppose if you are having that much equal life cycle of your what we call of your shaft, definitely it will not support that element or rotating element or whatever it is. so that you yourself have to be design your shaft, I mean your bearing according to that life cycle of your particular moving element or machine element. So that is the reason why the basic definition of the life of a bearing is very simple definition. The life of a bearing is the number of revolutions that the bearing can make without failure. That the bearing can make without failure. That particular life cycle of your moving element. That particular moving element. That is what we call as the life of a bearing. It's very, very, very important. The life of a bearing. Suppose if you are taking life cycle of, suppose your speed of the shaft is 300 RPM, right? Then automatically yourself, I mean, the life of the bearing should be equal to 300 or less than 300 or whatever it is, no problem, right? But thing is, it has to be sustained. It has to be sustained without fatigue failure. First fatigue failure, without failure. You can say that without failure, without failure. Right, that is a very, very important point of your life of your bearing. Now the question is, suppose, so this is the life of a bearing, you can say that this is the life of a bearing. Now as a manufacturer, suppose you are a manufacturer and you are doing like hundreds of bearings, right? Suppose if you are manufacturing many number of bearings, if I am asking that what is the life of that particular bearing, how can you say that? Or how do you estimate it that? That is another important question. So just now we learn about the, we understand about the, what is the just life of a bearing, right? Now, suppose if you are having, this is a single bearing. Suppose if you are having a more number of bearings with you, right? Suppose you are having 100 bearings. You are a manufacturer, you are having 100 bearings. Now if I am asking that, suppose let us consider 50th object of your bearing. What is the life cycle of that particular bearing? Then how do you say that? Suppose you are having 1000 bearings. Suppose you are having 10,000 bearings, right? Now if I am saying that, what is the life cycle of that particular 500 number of bearing or 530 number of bearing? Right? If I'm asking the question, right, somebody is saying that it is based on the shaft. So already I told you that based on the shaft means you can estimate the life cycle. But I'm asking you that because each and every bearing life is different, right? Each and every bearing life is different. It should not be a common thing. Why? Because means based on your loading condition, your life of the bearing will vary. I will tell you that. So there is a load-life relationship. Right? That means whenever you are having a more amount of loading condition, definitely you are having the life cycle will be commonly reduced. Right? That means based on those relation. So based on those relation, right? So based on those relation, you can estimate the life cycle of your bearing, that particular bearing, the selected particular bearing, right? So here, whenever you are having a number of bearings with you, let's say 100 or 200 or 1000 or whatever it is. Normally, what we do means simply you can calculate, or you can calculate. So normally what we do means we can estimate or we can calculate only 1 or 2 bearings, and we can generally say that each and every bearing will have that much of life cycle. But you are not supposed to do like that. As a design engineer, you are not supposed to do, right? Suppose you are having 100 bearings. Suppose just simply you can calculate 1 or 2 or 5 bearings. Those 5 bearings having 90% life cycle or 90% efficiency. You cannot say that almost all 100 bearings are having 90%. You cannot say that, right? So this is absolutely wrong, right? So how do you say that? Means you are having 2 type of relations. Based on those relations, you can estimate, or you can say that that particular life of your bearing. Or what is the definition of those things? Means simply you are having rated life. You are having a rated life. So what is the rated life? Rated life means simply, so rated life means here, suppose you are having 100 bearings or 200 bearings, and at least 90% of the bearing, will have to be sustained or possessing those much of result. not less than of 90%, not much less than of 90%. That is very, very important. That is what we call as the rated life. You can say that it is a rated life. So already you are observing in the given screen, Amma. So you are having a group of identical ball or roller bearings, and define the number of revolutions that 90% of the group of bearings will complete or exceed before the first evidence of fatigue develops. That means only 10% of the group of bearings will fail due to fatigue. That means you can generally say that. So that means we are not able to calculate, or we cannot calculate almost all the type of bearings. Almost all 100 bearings or all 1000 bearings, all 10,000 bearings, you can say that. But at least 90% of the bearing, right? So it is the number of revolution that at least 90% of the bearing can make without failure. Can make without failure at least 90%. Remaining 10% we can excuse remaining 10% because definitely they will able to undergo any failure. There is a chance of failure. So at least 90% of the failure can make revolutions, because here the life of a bearing can be estimated. The life of a bearing can be estimated in terms of million revolutions. So that I'm saying that in terms of revolutions, right? So that a bearing can make a revolution without failure, 90% of the bearing, 90% of the bearing, right? Remaining 10% we can excuse. That is what we call as a rated life. Here it is a rated life. Now here another important term is average life or minimum life, whatever it is. Average life of bearing. So what is the actual average life of a bearing? Simple. So here in this case we are having a relation of 90% of the bearing. Here average life means 50%. At least 50% of the bearing. So it is also denoted that rating life. It has been found that the life which is 50% of a group bearing will complete and exceed approximately 5 times that of the which is 90% of the bearing will complete or exceed. Simple definition, no need to get confused. Simple saying that at least 50% of the bearing, at least 50% of the bearing will complete without failure. Without failure. It is able to sustain for given life cycle or estimated life cycle. And all these things are playing a very, very important role, especially while you are designing of a bearing. This is very, very, very important, Amma. Very, very important relation while you are designing of a bearing or while you are calculating the life, because life of bearing is very, very important, especially in rolling contact bearings or any type of bearing. Life is very, very important. But here mainly because we are focusing on the life, load and life plays a very, very important roles. And again, loading means here we have to consider 2 types of loading conditions: static loading condition and dynamic loading conditions. Static loading and dynamic loading conditions. Loading means, right? Okay, fine. Now each and everything has some notations. Suppose we are having 90% in a rated life bearing. In a rated life bearing, I have told you that 90% of your bearing can make a complete revolutions without failure. So that the notations is L90. L90 is very, very important notation, Amma. L90. You can say that L90. L is life. L90 or you can say that L10. Both are same. L90 or L10. You can represent by this manner L90 or L10. And average rate of bearing also similarly you can say that it is 50%, so that you can say that it is a L50. And you are having a relation average life and what we call as a rated life. So according to your statistical relationship from your binomial distribution or some other mathematical relationship, you are having L50 equal to 5 times of the L10. This is standard relation. So you have to remember whenever you are having a problem, L50 equal to 5 times of the L10. This is the standard relation, right? So this relation is based on your probability and statistics relations, what we are having in your previous classes. Direct relation we are using. So whenever you are having an average life and rated life, right? So these 3 are the very, 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 very important relations while you are solving the problems especially. I hope I understand this life of the bearing. First one is the life of the bearing. How you estimate the life? What is the life of bearing? And second one is you can say that what is the rated life? Suppose if you are having a group of many number of bearings. so that on that particular issue or on that particular case, you can estimate your bearing based on the percentage. At least your 90% of the bearing make and revolutions without any failure. That is what we call as the rated life. And the last one is you are having a average life or minimum life, whatever it is. In your average life, you can say that at least 50% of your bearings, at least 50% of your bearing make and revolutions without any fatigue failure. Simply you can say that fatigue means before at least we can identify the first fatigue crack or first crack that will be appeared on your bearing. That is what we call as the fatigue, right? Right. Now we are having different kinds of relationships you are having. I already told you that. So still number of people are entering, Amma. Right, no problem. Okay, right. So we are having a load life relationship. We are having load life relationship means this relationship is based on purely based on your rated load and based on your load carrying capacities. Based on your load carrying capacity. Okay, we will move on to further. You can easily understand what are the relations. Okay.
ముందు కొద్దిగా వేసి ఆడి మళ్ళీ గరిటతో కలిపాక మళ్ళీ కొద్దిగా నీళ్ళు.
So please mute your mics, all of you.
So here,
Students.
right. So here you please observe a table. You please observe a table. Here the life of bearings of various types of machines are given. You can easily observe application of the bearing and life of the bearing. Application of the bearing and life of the bearing in hours. Just simply have to observe. No need to read or all those things. Simply first one is instrumentations and apparatus. Based on those you are having 500 and aircraft engines and machines used for short periods. A machine working intermediately 8,000 to 12,000. All these things are you will observe in your data book also. No problem. All those things are you will observe in your data book. Whenever you are having problems, you can select from a data book, life of bearings. You can easily select, you can easily calculate it based on the relations also, based on a relation also, right? So just for a while, you please go through this table and observe the values. Why I am saying that observing the values means at least in your data book, while you are observing, while you are referring, you can easily recollect. You can easily recollect, right? That is the reason why I am showing tables. There is no need of showing tables because all those things are available in your data book. But why I am showing is simply in order to recollect while you are solving the problems where it is actually available or what is the terminology. In the last class also I am showing that what is the viscosity, what is Zn by P and what is C by D ratio, all those things. So based on that, whenever you are having a problem you directly refer that particular point. So it is very, very easy for you. If not, it is very, very difficult. So what is Z, what is N, what is P? Based on those discussions only your time will over. Right. I have already you have to observe all those things, Amma, that is available in this table. Second thing, Amma, you are having one relation. You please observe this relation. No need to what we call no need to copy or all those things. Simply observe this relation. That is sufficient. That is sufficient. So here you are having a basic dynamic load rating of a rolling contact bearing. So whenever you are having a constant stationary radial load, constant stationary radial load. Radial load means in case of a radial loads, radial ball bearing or roller bearings, whatever it is. Whenever you are having a axial load means thrust ball bearings, right? So which are apparently identical bearings with the stationary outer ring can endure for a rating life of 1 million revolutions. 1 million revolutions. We can say that 1 million revolutions. See, whenever you are having a static loading means there is no loading condition. Dynamic loading condition means you are having some loading condition, right? With at least only 10% of the failure. With only 10% of the failure. That is very, very important. Right? Right. So here are your relation. So please observe the relation. Please observe the relation, that is sufficient. All these things are available in your data book. No need to worry. Just know the formula. Just know the formula, know the relation, that is sufficient. Know the formula and know the relation. Right? That is sufficient. I hope you will already observing the C equal to FC I cos alpha 0.7 whole power 0.7 Z 2 power 3 D power 0.8. And for balls larger than 25.4 mm in diameter, C equal to 3.647 FC of I cos alpha all power 0.7, Z power 2/3, and D power 1.4. Right? So you please don't mistake me. Just simply I'm reading the formula. Just those are the formulas you have to remember. But here no need to remember. Right? You have to apply those formula. You have to read out. There is no other way. Right? Right. So these are another formulas you are having. So again, you are having a basic static load. So in the previous slide, we are going to only dynamic load. Here it is a static loading. Static load means here for a radial ball bearing, C naught equal to F naught Ij D square cos alpha. Right. So C naught is the static load rating, amma. So here the terminology is very, very important. Terminology is very, very important. C naught is the static load rating. So in textbook amma we are varying. The notations are vary. The notations are vary. They are using P or they are using Q. They are using some other notation. But the terminology is same. Notation is different. That is the reason why you please read down once on your screen. Right? What is available? What is static load rating, right? And what is F naught and what is Z, what is D square, what is cos alpha. All those things are available on your screen. Just you have to go through it. And keep on saying that and keep on mentioning that while you're solving the problem, definitely you will face problems. If you know the, or if you're not supposed to understand the exact meaning of this particular terminology. Terminology is very, very important rather than notation. Whatever the notation it is, you doesn't bother about those things. You doesn't bother about those things. Just simply note down just simply understand the terminology. What is load? Load means P or F. There is no difference. Right? So what is pressure? So pressure means P or some other notation. There is no difference. Likewise, textbook to textbook, it will vary. Textbook to textbook, it will vary. But the terminology is same. So that is the reason why I keep on saying this point, Amma. Right? So if you observe these things, simply I have to move for the further ones. Like directly I have to explain the some of the basic design procedure for your selection of a bearing. Just simply I have to explain one by one, Amma. Just simply I have to explain. Just you have to pay an attention. Just simply pay an attention. Right. So what is the selection of a bearing, especially in case of a rolling contact bearing? Right. The first and foremost step of your selection of a, because the selection is different from textbook to textbook, but I have to pick some of the important points. So that is the reason why I am explaining on my own. Right? You please pay an attention. Otherwise, simply note down on your notebook. No problem. So these are the standard procedure you have to follow. This is the standard procedure you have to follow. Right? Right. So the first and foremost is, or first and very, very important point is, calculate the radial and axial forces acting on the bearing. That means first you have to calculate the radial and axial forces acting on the bearing and determine the diameter of the shaft, whether the bearing is to be fitted or not. Right? Am I clear? So first one is you have to calculate the radial and axial force. I already told you that, and keep on saying that as a bearing, it has to be sustained both radial loading condition and axial loading condition. So that is the reason why you're having one relation. I will show you while you're having a problem. Before solving the problems, I will give one relations, almost all the relations. So one relation we're having P equal to X into FR plus Y into FA, something like that. You're having formula, right? So whenever you're having, that means these formulas are applicable for both radial load and axial loading condition. And keep on saying that whenever you're having a ball bearing, at a bearing, it is to be sustained both radial loading condition and axial loading condition, except it is to be designed only for axial loading condition. Suppose if you are having a thrust ball bearing, so this thrust ball bearing, it is to be sustained only for thrust loading condition, right? Except that particular type of bearing, remaining bearings you are having. Suppose if you are having a deep groove ball bearing, yesterday already we discussed that deep groove ball bearing. In a deep groove ball bearing, we are having, it has to be sustained both the type of loading condition, radial loading condition and axial loading condition. But most of the cases, you are supposed to design based on your more radial condition than axial loading condition. That is, if you write down a relation, that means FR by FA should be greater than equal to 1. FR means radial load and FA means axial load. It should be greater than 1. That means here both the loading condition is accepted in a deep groove ball bearing. But according to type of your situation, according to type of your application, it is to be sustained for more radial condition than axial loading condition. In some other bearing, it is quite reverse, but axial loading is more than radial loading condition. Likewise, so that while you are selecting a bearing, it is very, very important that first you have to calculate what is the radial load and what is the axial load that is to be acted on your bearing, and determine the diameter of the shaft. Why? Because means here based on the diameter of the shaft only, you can decide that bearing whether it is to be fitted or not. That is the basic point. And second one is select the type of bearing for given application. Like I already show you that you are having different types of applications, like your industry applications, automobile applications, or general toys, or any other different kinds of applications. According to the type of application, you can select a suitable type of bearing. Generally, the type of bearings can be decided. Different types of series of bearings are available. Whenever referring your data book, I will explain what is the exact meaning of those series. Because if you observe in your data book or on your bearing series, you are having 3005 or 6002. Likewise, you are having some number of series you are having. Why you are having only 3, 2, 6? Likewise, what is the importance of those 3 value? Why you are having 0 value? Why you are having 6 value? All those things we will explain while you are selecting that particular type of bearing, especially in case of a problems. Right? While you solve the problems, you can easily understand. That is the reason why I kept aside the designation or the number of series of your bearings. Right? And the next important point is you can estimate you can determine the values of the factors. Factors means here you are using the radial load and axial load. Suppose you are having the radial load, some radial load factor will be there. Suppose you are having axial load, you are having axial load factors. Load factors are to be considered. Some of the loads are having constant values. Some of the loadings you are having variable values. Right? It purely depends upon the type of loading conditions. So according to your radial loading condition and axial loading condition, based on those things, you can consider the factors of load factors, radial load factor and axial load factor. Those things are denoted by capital X and capital Y. Right? So already cover 3 most important points. First one is you have to calculate the radial load and axial load, right, that are acted on bearing, and whether it is to be fitted or not, you have to decide it according to diameter of the shaft. You have to select whether it is fitted or not. And the second one is you can select the suitable type of bearing according to your application. Bearing number of series is very, very important according to type of your application, whether light series or medium series, or you can go for heavy loading condition, depending upon your application. And third most important point is you can calculate the load factors of your radial load and axial load. And all those things are available in your data book. No need to worry. All those things are available in your data book. Right. And the next thing is, I already told you that whether you have to consider more amount of the radial loading condition or more amount of the axial loading condition. So these 2 things are also plays a very, very important role. Whether you are using for more amount of the radial load condition, like your deep groove ball bearing, or if you are going for more amount of the axial loading condition, or you are going for only purely radial loading condition, or otherwise you are going only for pure axial loading condition. Depending upon that, you have to calculate. You have to select those values of X and Y. So radial load and axial load, right? So whichever is more, based on those things, you can calculate your values of X and Y. Those things are available in your data book. No need to worry, right? Next, And next point is you can calculate the dynamic load, equivalent dynamic load for a given relation. You can calculate equivalent dynamic load. Already I mentioned the relation, some P or W, whatever it is. Some other textbooks are mentioning P, or some other textbook mentions are W. So P equal to X into FR plus Y into FA. Already you are having this relation. So please go through the relation. So equivalent load, you can say that W equal to X into FR or Y into WA, right? So you can say that X is the radial load factor, X and Y are the factors somehow. X and Y are the factors, R is the radial load and A is the axial load. Likewise, we are having relation. So that based on those relation, you can calculate the dynamic load. So I clearly mentioning that dynamic load means at least you have to make 1 million revolutions. Otherwise, you can say that it is a static loading, right? You can say that it is a static loading. You can say that, right? Next, make a decision about the expected bearing life. Make a decision about the expected bearing life. And the next thing is, after calculating of all those things, after calculating of whether it is a radial loading condition, axial loading condition, and what type of a load it is, if it is a static loading condition or whether it is a dynamic loading condition, then according to that, you can make a decision of life cycle of your bearing. Life cycle of your bearing. You have to make a decision of life cycle of a bearing. And also you can calculate the load carrying capacity of that particular bearing. So load carrying capacity of that particular bearing. And last one is you have to check whether the selected bearing of the series has required dynamic capacity or not. So last one is simply checking. So after completion of all those things, you entire design procedure of your bearing. Suppose if any step is failed in order to achieve of your desired result, then again you have to go back to your initial steps. You have to go back to your initial steps. So that is a basic point. That is a basic point you have to observe. That is a basic point you have to be observed. Right? So this is the basic design procedure. It's very, very easy design procedure. Rolling contact bearings are very easy. Rolling contact bearings are very easy, and you are having only one relationship. We are using load life relationship. Only we are using a load life relationship and the life of the bearing. Number of revolutions of the bearings, and the last one is suppose if you are not having a same type of loading condition or same type of speeds, that means you are having various number of speeds are operating, then also we are having another relation, right? So only 2 or 3 relations we are having. If you know the 2 or 3 relations, then this chapter is over. Especially rolling contact bearings are over. Very, very simple relations to not, it is not the case of remembering, because all the things are available in data book. No need to remember also. No need to remember. Formulas are also available in your data book. Formulas are also available in your data book. No need to remember. But only thing is just understanding the notations. Understanding the concept is very, very important. Understanding the notation and understanding the concept is very, 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 very important. If you have failed to recognize the terms, or if you fail to recognize the terminology, then you are not able to solve the problem. It is very, very difficult for you to solve the problem. It is very, that is the reason why I am showing the notations, and please remember the notations. I mean, at least terminology, not notations. Terminology, because textbook to textbook it is vary. Textbook to textbook is vary, so that at least you have to remember the terminology. Otherwise, I will tell you that it is very, very difficult for you, right? Right. So this is the basic things you are having in your what we called in case of a rolling contact bearings. Now the question is where you are having the failures, especially where you are having a failure of your bearing. What is the general type of bearing normally you are occurring in case of a bearing? Number 338, you need not worry about the attendance. Okay, you need not worry about the attendance.
Charging completing, sir.
Okay, no worries. I'm already Gopal Krishna sir have taken the attendance, no problem. Okay. Okay, no problem. Right. So generally So the student is present at the time of attendance, definitely will have the attendance number, no problem, no problem. Okay, right. So please concentrate on the class. That is the way every time I'm admitting you into the classroom. Please pay attention on the class, then only you can easily understand, right? Okay. So there are different types of failures we are having, Amma, in case of a bearing. So generally, normally failures are we are having abrasive wear, corrosive wear, and pitting wears and scoring wears, Amma, normally. These are the 4 types of failures you are having. These are the 4 types of failures you are having normally. Abrasive wear, corrosive wear, and pitting wear, and scoring wear. Now, what is meant by abrasive wear? Generally, this abrasive wears are happening when the bearing is to be operated in an environmental contaminated with dust and foreign particles. Whenever you're having a dust and foreign particles, then definitely it will having the rust and all those things are able to form on your bearings, right? Now, what are the remedies? If you observe the remedies, in order to avoid this kind of failure, simply you have to provide an oil seals in order to increasing the surface hardness, or you are supposed to use the high viscosity of the oils, or you are supposed to apply the high viscosity of the oil in order to avoiding the formation of these abrasive wear, right? And similarly, whenever you are having the corrosive wear, so corrosive wear means simply the corrosion of the surface of the bearing parts, right? Generally, it is due to the entry of the water or moisture, entry of the water or moisture content, right? Normally, these types can be eliminated. These types can be eliminated by providing the complete enclosure for the bearing free from the external contaminations. External contamination means it can be rust, or it can be dust, or it can be any other foreign particles, any other foreign particles, right? And also by selecting a proper additives, and also replating lubricating oil at regular intervals, simple. So day to day you have to monitor every time whenever you're having the noises and all those things, simply you have to monitor of all those things. Then you have to replace alternatively of your lubricating oils, or keep on changing of your lubricating oils, right? And the next one is pitting failure. Number 87. Please don't post those kind of messages, right? I already told you that each and everything is recorded and is available, right? If you're posting or if you're commenting of something like that, definitely it will be, right? You yourself noticed, right? Nobody is noticing, you yourself get exposure. You will get an exposure, right? And definitely will pay attention those peoples. Is it necessary? Right? Right. So each and everything is recorded. I already mentioned in the first class itself. And it is available forever because it is a paid version, right? It is available forever. Right. So pitting failure. So pitting is the main cause of the failure of, especially in case of your rolling contact bearings. So generally it is a surface fatigue failure that occurs when the load on the bearing part exceeds the surface of the endurance strength of the material, right? So generally, especially these kind of failures also available in case of your gears also, gear also. While you are discussing the failure of a gear, or while you are calculating the estimating the failure of a gear, again we are having this pitting failure. Again on the particular case also, you are having this kind of a pitting failure, right? So these are the general type of failures normally we are having. Right? In the coming class, Amma, in the coming classes, just one more question, Amma. I'll tell you that whenever you're having a ball bearings and roller bearings. So one simple question: which bearings you are having more amount of the load carrying capacity? Ball bearing or roller bearing? Just simply post your answer on your chat box. I already told you that you are having a right ball bearings and roller bearings classifications. Which bearing you are having more amount of the load carrying capacity? So somebody is saying roller. So right. Roller bearing, right? Very good. The answer is very good. Roller bearing. Why? Why? No need to explain, elaborate. Just simply write one sentence or one line or one terminology. No problem. Very good. Very good. See, most of the lateral entry people already they know the answers because already came across their polytechnic level, so that they're easily answering their questions. Most of them responding only lateral entry students also, right? Okay, so in a ball bearings you are having only point contact, in you are having rolling areas, you are having more amount of the area will be contacted, so that lower carrying capacity will be high in case of a rolling contact bearing. Rolling contact bearing. So while you are reading of especially I'm being some of the instructions, especially rolling contact bearings, you please go through the each and every type of bearing, deep groove ball bearings and angular contact bearings and self-aligning bearings. All these are very, very important. You can go for the rolling contact bearings also, classification, tapered roller bearings or some other bearings, right? So some in examination, in addition to that, in addition to this problem, they may ask for the classification, they may ask for the explanation also. So you please go through the each and every one, each and every type of bearing. Just simply you have to read on the bearing and what is the purpose of that bearing. That is sufficient. That is sufficient. Whether it is carrying a radial load, it is carrying a axial load, that much information is sufficient for you. That much information is sufficient, right? Right. So in the coming class, Sama, directly, you please bring your data book, Sama, directly taking the problems from the next class, and also giving the formula sheet also, and providing a formula sheet for each and every type of bearings, rolling bearings or sliding contact bearings. So based on that, you can easily solve the problems. Okay. So, okay, right. Hope you understand this class, Amma, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Happy birthday, Lal.